Is sleep apnea overdiagnosed? If you've ever wondered whether sleep apnea is being overdiagnosed, you're not alone. This question has sparked a lot of debate among health experts and researchers. Let's break it down to understand what's really going on. Sleep apnea is a serious condition where you stop breathing repeatedly during sleep. It can be divided into two main types: obstructive sleep apnea, OSA, and central sleep apnea, CSA. OSA occurs when the muscles in the back of your throat relax too much, blocking your airway, while CSA happens because your brain doesn't send the right signals to your breathing muscles. Now let's talk about the diagnosis. The gold standard for diagnosing sleep apnea is a nighttime in-laboratory test called polysomnography, PSG. However, home sleep tests are also becoming more common and can be just as effective for many people. Here's where the question of overdiagnosis comes in. Some studies suggest that the criteria for diagnosing sleep apnea might be too broad. For instance, a study in Lausanne found that 50% of men and 23% of women over 40 were diagnosed with sleep apnea, which some experts consider extraordinarily high and implausible. Dr. Dirk Pevernaghi from Ghent University Hospital pointed out that there's no solid evidence for the current criteria used to diagnose and rate the severity of obstructive sleep apnea. He mentioned that many people diagnosed with moderate to severe sleep apnea in one study reported no drowsiness at all. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine, AASM, recommends broad screening for sleep apnea, especially for people with conditions like diabetes, obesity, untreated high blood pressure, or heart disease. However, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force takes a more conservative view, saying there's not enough evidence to support widespread screening for people without symptoms. Another point to consider is that many people with sleep apnea don't even realize they have it. It's estimated that 2 to 4% of all Americans have undiagnosed sleep apnea, which is about 1 in 50 individuals. In the case of the journalist who was diagnosed with central sleep apnea, his alarming reading turned out to be a byproduct of the testing machinery itself, a phenomenon that occurs in 5 to 15% of patients. This highlights the potential for misdiagnosis or overdiagnosis based on the testing methods used. So, is sleep apnea overdiagnosed? The answer isn't straightforward. While some criteria might be too broad, leading to high diagnosis rates, it's also clear that many cases of sleep apnea go undiagnosed. The key is to ensure that diagnoses are based on accurate and reliable testing methods, and that patients are properly evaluated for their specific symptoms and risk factors. In summary, the debate around overdiagnosis of sleep apnea is ongoing, and it's important for both patients and healthcare providers to be aware of the complexities involved in diagnosing and treating this condition.